Before we see Valuev in the ring against Monty Barrett, you're going to see the rematch of a tremendous light heavyweight championship fight from 17 months ago between title holder Thomasz Adamek and Australian Paul Briggs. It could be just as great a fight again tonight. The other one took place at the United Center here in Chicago. This one now taking place just a little bit north. And we want to remind you, throughout the evening, you can file a request by logging on to hbo.com/boxing to submit a question to either me, Larry, or Emmanuel. We'll try to answer your question live on the air before the end of tonight's telecast. Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Adamek and Briggs fighting in the 175-pound weight class. You see the 2-inch age advantage for Adamek, a height advantage of 3 inches for the Polish fighter over the Australian, arm length advantage of 1.5 inches measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Adamek weighed in 1 pound under the limit, enters the ring unofficially at 182 tonight. Briggs weighed in at 175, enters the ring unofficially at 180. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Thomasz Adamek Paul Briggs fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, regeneration, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching.
Both fighters, thank you very much, Harold. Both fighters are aggressive and entertaining in the ring. Both fighters have amazing personal stories, especially Paul Briggs.
Briggs looks like a choir boy, but when his autobiography came out after the last fight, he revealed that he had been raped by a relative as a boy, that he had been a kickboxer in Thailand at the age of 15, that he came home at 20 plus and became a standover man or a mob enforcer, that he was a drug addict, that he was a DJ, a colorful character whose father and uncle were fighters. He can fight.
He told us, Emmanuel Stewart, that before the autobiography was published, he had last-minute second thoughts because his story is so dark. Is it good for him to get it all out?
I think it's good for him in more ways than one. First of all, people out here in life who's had those same experiences that he's had probably sympathizes with him, is more attracted to him. Plus, also, the fact that it's made him a tough individual.
And here's another tough individual. Thomasz Adamek of Poland grew up amid extreme economic hardship in Poland, worked as an electrician while beginning to build his boxing career there. Ultimately said to himself, as do some heavyweights, if I'm gonna be great, I've got to go to America. For the last 2 years, he's been living in Jersey City and teaching inner city kids to box.
In his background, when he was 2 years old, his father was killed in a coal mining accident along with 30 others.
Last year, Emmanuel, he fought and beat Briggs, even though he broke his nose in training 2 weeks before. This guy has guts.
He has guts, and I think that's what got, still amazing what got him through the fight. But for this fight, he said he wants to be a technical fighter. He doesn't want to get into a slugfest like he did the last fight.
Which is why he has brought in a trainer who will try to instill more of a boxing style, the well-known Buddy McGirt.
He's also brought in a large share of this crowd, 1 million Polish people living here in Chicago area. He is the first born and bred Pole to have won a title.
And about the Polish house, Briggs says, no problem, I used to be a kickboxer in Thailand. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Allstate Arena, Rosemont, Illinois, here in the Chicago metropolitan area, where tonight Don King Productions and Sauerland Event presents an evening of World Championship Boxing on HBO. Sponsored by Olymp Vodka and Grossinger Cadillac, all bouts sanctioned by the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. This first bout is a WBC contest. President Jose Suleiman, supervisor Chuck Williams. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout: Mauro Di Fiore, Ray Hawkins, and Ken Morita. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Tim Adams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, official weight 175 pounds. Professional record 25 victories, including 18 knockouts, only 2 defeats. From Sydney, Australia, the WBC #1 ranked light heavyweight contender in the world, Paul Firepower Briggs. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red, official weight 174 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 30 bouts, 30 victories with 20 knockouts, originally from Gliwice, now fighting out of Bielsko-Biała, Poland. Ladies and gentlemen, Panie I Panowie, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Thomasz Adamek.
Let's start clearing it out. Let's go. Let's start getting them out. Let's go. Let's start clearing them out. Okay, come to the center. Okay, listen up. The rules were explained to both of you fighters in your dressing room, all right? Here are your instructions. I want you to keep your punches up at all times. I want you to obey the commands that's going to be given to you at all times. In the case of a knockdown, the man who is standing, I'm going to put him in a neutral corner where I want him to be, and I expect for him to stay there until I tell him to come out. Good luck to both of you. Protect yourselves at all times. Let's go to work.
Adamek has good boxing skills and wants to make this more of a boxing contest in the first fight. Briggs is a brawler and wants to make it more of a brawl than the first fight. Only one of them can be right.
I believe that although Adamek wants to make this a boxing contest, I think the crowd and excitement is going to force him to have to fight. I don't think he's going to be able to box in this fight.
Briggs comes out of his corner and bangs a 1-2 that knocks Adamek momentarily back into the ropes. Adamek looks stronger and more heavily muscled than in the ring here in Chicago a year ago. Briggs landed a lot of big right hands in the first fight. Adamek was the fighter who was able to land combinations. Briggs says tonight he needs to step up the intensity, throw more combinations, and prove he's the better man.
Well, one thing that's going for Adamek also, he had a great amateur background. He had a lot of good amateur fights internationally and would have been on the Olympic team, I think, if he hadn't returned professional.
Well, indeed, what we are seeing in the heavyweight class shows up in the light heavyweight and the super middleweight and the middleweight divisions as well, and that is the substance and the exceptionally good training and the intelligence that European fighters are showing across the board in the sport.
Yes, they spend much more time getting their basic foundation on them than we do in America. A lot because the guys are going to stay and fight maybe 5-10 years international amateur boxing, whereas our guys turn professional almost every 48 months.
And once ridiculed as programmatic stand-up fighters who are utterly predictable, we now see many Europeans who blend styles, who bend at the waist, who show the athletic qualities necessary to be fully well-rounded fighters. Adamek gets hit with the right hand and bolted back. Then he comes back with combination punching to make his mark on Briggs.
Adamek is fighting a beautiful fight at this stage. Now he's mixing up everything, sticking to his plan of boxing, body, head, very good defense, and he's taking control over the fight.
And there's a perfect left hook
so much
by
control.
Paul Briggs. Briggs, who didn't throw enough left hands in last year's fight, scores a first-round knockdown with a perfect left hook shot. Adamek told us yesterday he had never been down in a professional prize fight. So there goes that stat.
Yeah. Emmanuel, we've all done that. Don't let him get to you.
Well, that's boxing, one punch. But I still think he's fighting a very good fight. But, you know, one punch can change everything around.
Step back.
I keep forgetting sometimes.
Well, and now let's see what Adamek can do in the remaining 42 seconds of the round, because remember, it's a 10-8 round for Briggs, if Briggs is able to win the round overall to go with the knockdown. But if Adamek is seen by the judges as the clear winner of the round, then it becomes 10-9.
Well, actually, from this point on, Adamek is still winning the round again.
And he was winning before the knockdown.
I'm going to disagree there. He'd have to win the round. He'd have to win the other part of the round big to stop it from being a 2-point round. Not just
that
win
was
it.
a good right hand with a small follow-up left hook. Briggs tries to get to the body coming back, but by and large, this is somewhat like the first fight in that Adamek throws more and does more damage. But Briggs landed the big shot.
One big shot, but that was enough to win the round.
That hook, he's gonna keep throwing that hook. Okay? When he's jabbing your body, you're going like this. So he's gonna jab and you go there, then he's gonna come up top. So when he jabs the body, let him jab there. You double jab him. Keep the double jab going. And start touching him downstairs. Okay? Stay relaxed, baby. Nice deep breath. Stay relaxed. And give me double jabs. You're standing too high, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mate, we hurt him. Then you start jamming us again. We don't want that, mate.
Yep.
Hurt him all the time, mate. Mate, jab the body right in over the top of time. But fail with the right with him.
Here we see Briggs land the left hook just at the time when he was expecting a right hand to be coming in. Adamek pushed his right hand out forward instead, and the hook came.
Yeah, the electrician stuck his finger in the socket and suffered a shocking knockdown.
By CompuBox numbers, Adamek threw 25 more punches in the round, landed 7 more punches in the round, but in Harold Letterman's eyes, it's a 2-point round for Adamek because of the for Briggs because of the knockdown. Briggs again with a couple of heavy shots. Adamek again lets his hands go in combination and makes contact.
This is going to be a very good fight because you have two guys with not much clinching going on. They're both landing clean, effective punches now and still having good defense.
And now there's a small red spot above the left eye of Paul Briggs, and it's bleeding. So Briggs has been cut, perhaps by a right hand from Adamek.
What took them so long? The first fight was
They were bleeding
bloody.
earlier. Yeah.
It was bloody from both sides.
Hard right hand by Briggs in retaliation for an Adamek combination.
But Briggs wants to make it a brawl. He said he does not want to have a technical fight. And the way they're going, either guy can knock the other guy down the way they're punching. At this stage, the better basic amateur background and experience of Adamek is being a big factor.
Here comes the knockdown. That right hand might have done some damage to the already damaged left eye of Briggs.
Briggs was cut over the left eye, same eye, in the second round of the first fight. That was ruled the result of an accidental headbutt. I believe this was a right hand punch.
The speed and the accuracy of Adamek is beginning to bother Briggs there because Briggs cannot figure out what punch he's going to throw, and he's throwing them from different angles also.
Adamek has had the best of it, according to my eyes, for almost every second of both rounds, but the knockdown belongs to Briggs. And a couple of other big blows along the way. But Adamek is showing you more skill, and once again, the combination punching prowess. 2 left hooks to the body by Adamek.
He's fighting a very good, skillful fighter.
Right hand across the top and a good left hook. This is all Thomasz Adamek putting punishment on Briggs. Adamek with a little smile on his face, as if to say, I've got you where I want you.
He feels he's got control right now, which I feel too, but he's got to be very careful with Briggs still. Briggs is punching with full power.
Adamek looked spindly a year ago compared to the heavily muscled body you see tonight. But maybe he's a half step slower.
We're doing what we weren't gonna do, mate.
Boxing After Dark returns next Saturday night as Welshman Joe Calzaghe makes his HBO debut against Saki Obika. Friday, October 27, catch the premiere of Countdown to Baldomir Mayweather, a behind-the-scenes look at both training camps as they prepare to battle for welterweight supremacy November 4 on HBO pay-per-view. And between fights tonight, we'll have a live interview with Floyd Mayweather Jr. from Las Vegas.
Paul, you've got to go in with that right hand, mate. You're sitting back letting him hit us. We won the first round because we whacked him hard, and then that one you just let him fight his fight. Paul, we've got to get up there and dictate. Grease, where's the grease? Grease!
CompuBox numbers in the second round. Thomasz Adamek landing 20 power shots to 10 for Briggs. A 2-to-1 edge for Adamek. Briggs last year, in his loss to Adamek, was trained by the well-known Jack Mosley, father of Sugar Shane Mosley from Pomona, California. After that fight, they parted ways. Briggs is now trained by Johnny Lewis, legendary Australian trainer who trained Jeff Fennick, among others, and probably the #1 Australian trainer, Emmanuel.
He definitely is the #1 Australian trainer. And also, he's developed a lot of good guys. But the one thing you can expect from men's fighters are always in good condition. He's what we call a real good conditioning coach, more so than technical.
Fennick in particular used to just outwork people and swarm them until they went away.
And that's what he's trying to do with Briggs. That's why they want to make it a brawl. But Adamek is fighting a very good fight. The strategy of him and his trainer, Buddy McGirt, seems to be working very good.
Adamek, who is comfortable brawling, but prefers tonight to box. He can do both. Briggs landing the occasional right hand over the top. Adamek landing a variety of punches. Briggs again with a right hand there. Adamek coming back with 3 shots. Adamek has the more solid jab.
You notice the head movement Adamek showing. That's Buddy McGirt's work.
His head, upper body movement all the way around. Generalship, switching, turning back and forth. Very good technical style of fighting.
Buddy told us that Adamek's biggest weakness was a tendency to admire his work. He's trying to get him to move after he lands a punch. A lot of fighters like to admire their work, Emmanuel.
Yes, in particular right now, he's very busy. After he finishes up every combination, he comes right back with a jab at the end.
And he's remembering to move his feet and turn Briggs after the flourishes. Hard right hand again by Briggs. That punch has been his bellwether through both fights with Adamek. And another time, right hand across the top. Why is Adamek so susceptible to the right?
He's getting hit with them, but strange enough, it seems like they haven't hurt him that much. But if he keeps getting hit with enough of them, sooner or later, one of them are going to hurt him.
Briggs' left eye holding up so far under the punishment, but still trickling blood. And the cut is in that most dangerous of positions, above the eye, where if the blood truly flows, it could affect Briggs' vision. Good left hook by Paul Briggs, his best left-hand punch so far in the fight. Adamek comes back with a combination again.
Adamek is beginning to fight more as I expected because of the crowd and excitement, but he's doing a pretty good job at it because he has faster hands.
I think he's
Hard
showing,
right hand by Briggs.
I think he's showing good controlled aggression.
You hit him again there with another one.
Yes.
Paul, come on, mate. Shut you up.
You've got it, mate. You've got it here to take, Chair.
Hey, Paul, this bloke doesn't like being hit, mate. You're letting him look good by letting him jab. Spit him between.
Good jab. And go downstairs this run. You got to work the body more. Okay? Too much head hunting. Okay? Come on, baby. Be smart, champ. Nice deep breath. Be smart.
Briggs may be being outworked by Adamek, but he's landing right hands at will. And if he keeps landing those right hands like that, sooner or later something's going to happen.
CompuBox numbers in round 3. Adamek 12 out of 34 power shots. Briggs 13 out of 27. So Briggs showing great accuracy with his power shots as he landed half of them in that round. Harold, how do you have it through?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. Adamek, 28-28 in points. Jim, I want to tell you something. You got to give a guy an extra credit if he knocks somebody off his feet. That's boxing. Now, I know Paul Briggs may have lost the first round technically, but he did knock Adamek off his feet. I scored a 10-8. The other two, 10-9. Adamek, I love his combinations. 5-6 punches every time he lets go of his arm. 2-1, Adamek.
Round 4, more of the same. Again, Briggs lands a big right hand across the top. Adamek has landed some combinations.
You know, Adamek is not doing anything to avoid the right hand. He's not rolling his shoulders. He's not stepping back. He's not even trying to shield it with his left arm. He's just like, I'm going to take this and just keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, he sees the right hand coming, so he's been able to take it. That left hook that shocked him in the first round, he never saw coming. Once again, good, clean right hand by Briggs. Didn't phase Adamek at all.
And Adamek came back with a 5-punch combination. This has been the pattern throughout both of their fights.
Adamek is showing
Another right hand for Briggs.
what a good, aggressive boxer puncher can be as a crowd-pleasing fighter. Not a brawler, doesn't have to fight out of control, just a beautiful combination throwing boxer puncher.
He wins again here in a fight very similar to the one a year ago. He's the king of Chicago from a boxing standpoint, because of course you can hear the enthusiasm of the many Polish Americans in the audience here to root for him. Body shot by Briggs. Adamek trying to come up and under with the right. Adamek a little bit sparser with his punch output in this round. Perhaps not wanting to allow Briggs as many opportunities to land his right.
Briggs has been successful in blocking more punches this round than he has in the past. He's not getting hit with the clean punches that he did in the previous rounds.
And he rips Adamek with another right across the top. Now Adamek's nose trickling blood as the result of that last Briggs right hand shot. Another big right hand lands for Briggs. Adamek lands a right and a left in return.
Adamek is returning punches, but he's not landing as cleaner punches as Briggs is at this stage.
And now Briggs throws his left and lands it on Adamek's nose, and Adamek sniffs, indicating that the blood in his nose is bothering. Now he blows out, which can often cause a fighter to swell.
Well, the fight is on now. They're both bleeding.
3 good jabs from Adamek. Briggs now starting to work much harder with his jab, having seen the damage he's done to Adamek's nose. Adamek across the top with a right hand. Another Briggs right hand to punctuate the round. Good fight. So it's an outstanding stage setter for the main event, in which 7-foot-plus Russian heavyweight titleist Nikolai Valuev will try to show what he can do against American Monty Barrett. He conquered Larry Donald on a close decision. He conquered John Ruiz on a close decision to take a title belt. Ruiz screamed bloody murder and said, "I won the fight." Then he knocked out Owen What the Heck Beck, an opponent who was served up partially as the result of the fact that Don King, eager for an involvement near the top of the heavyweight division, has managed to get himself into the Valuev promotional picture, not as the primary promoter, but as a showman here in America to try to pay off the curiosity about the man King calls the Jolly Red Giant. Valuev doesn't like that. Power shots through round 4. 48 out of 139 for Adamek, 40 out of 92 for Briggs. Averaging 75 punches a round is Adamek, which is about 50% more than Briggs, who's averaging like 50 punches a round, but it's a really good close fight in which both men have made their marks. Adamek's nose is broken and bleeding. Briggs is bleeding from a cut above the left eye.
I don't know how the score went to last round, but I'm slightly moving towards Briggs because he's landing cleaner punches at this stage right now with his right hand and with his jab. Not as flashy, but he's landing the clean punches.
Well, Adamek fought the whole last fight with a broken nose and didn't get it broken until the 4th round of this one. So maybe now he's ready to open up.
Jim, is that your X-ray vision that tells you he has a broken nose?
Yeah, I'm exactly. Now, I'm no doctor, and maybe it's just a bloody nose. But if ever there was a nose that's a candidate to be broken in the ring, that's one of them.
Yeah, it precedes him almost as much as his jab.
Yeah, and it turns left at Rahway and goes down to Jersey City and makes another right, you know?
These are two tough dudes.
Well, I mean, talk about tough. Briggs, as a teenager, went to live in a Thai kickboxing camp where for months he slept on concrete, ate the most rudimentary of diets, and lived with Thai fighters who come from the poorest of circumstances and are kickboxing to try to get money for their families. He said, now I know what tough really is.
Yeah, and he's showing it tonight. After having a rough first 2 rounds, he's coming on good. He's landing the clean, effective punches. And Adamek, if he doesn't get away from those right hands, he's going to have problems. I don't care how tough he is. He's getting hit with them too easy now. And with more regularity.
And periodically, like every 10 or 15 seconds, you can hear from ringside as Adamek tries to clear his nose so he can breathe through it.
What about the clearing of the nose and the fact that he's blowing out, Emmanuel? Could he swell?
Blowing your nose like that a lot would make your eye swell a lot very badly. I don't think it would bother his nose. I don't think he has a choice.
Briggs is getting some opportunities to the body now as Adamek occasionally backs off to try to limit the contact in the fight.
The momentum of the fight has moved toward Briggs now.
Definitely. He's able to go ahead and flow the way he wants to fight. He's being the aggressor. Adamek seems somewhat caught between styles at this moment.
Yes, he's trying to box and he's trying to fight.
And now Briggs steps in and asserts himself with another booming right hand. And another booming right hand, right on the jaw. Big round for Paul Briggs, and he knows it.
Do jego prawej musisz chodzić, do jego prawej. Okay, and you gotta go downstairs. You're not going to the body none.
I w bebechy mu.
Everything you're doing is to the head.
W bebechy mu. I wchodź do jego prawej.
Paul Briggs' right hand has brought him back from some difficulties in round 2 and 3. He knocked down Thomasz Adamek in the first round with an unexpected left hook. But this is Briggs' money weapon, Emmanuel.
The right hand has been continually landing, and Adamek has not even found any defense. I don't think he's even tried to block it. In fact, it's almost like he doesn't want to get a miss one of the right hand. He wants to get hit with every one of them, seemingly.
Briggs throws it as a counter to Adamek's left. Sometimes he just leads with it. Occasionally he tries to set it up with the jab, but in any of the 3 formats, he's been successful landing that right hand.
He's landing the right hand with regularity, and it's going to take his effect.
Power shots in round 5. Adamek 8 out of 30. Briggs 20 out of 39. More than half his power shots in that round, and a whole boatload of right hands over the top. They've done a good job in Briggs' corner. Johnny Lewis and his cut man have done an excellent job of closing the cut above the left eye. Blood continues to flow from Adamek's nose.
But Briggs is not only landing, I think, the more effective punches, blocking better punches, but looks so much more physically stronger at this stage, as well as mentally.
You get the impression from time to time Adamek hasn't slipped or stopped a single right hand all night. Buddy McGirt asked Adamek for more body punching. And again, I think he's caught between styles, Emmanuel. At some point, he's just going to have to fight.
I think you're absolutely right, Jim. That's exactly what I was saying. He's between trying to box, trying to fight. Nothing seems to be working out effectively right now, for the most part.
It was a brawl a year ago. Adamek expressed that he thought he could make it more of a boxing match. It evolves toward being a brawl again.
Adamek has got a good rhythm going right now. But he needs to stick with the jab and start moving a little bit.
Adamek landed a big right hand,
but he stays
so Briggs
right
came back with a left hook.
Yeah, whenever he wants to explode, he knows the guy's going to be right in front of him.
Briggs has excellent attacking footwork. He gets there in a hurry.
And those punches have negated all of the advantage that early in the round Adamek had.
Very few relentlessly aggressive fighters like Briggs know how to defend themselves as they bore in to their opponents.
And his punches are short and straight. They're not wide looping punches, which means very difficult for Adamek to have time to defend against them.
Well, and you talked about Johnny Lewis as a conditioning trainer, and Briggs' conditioning certainly appears to be showing up. He's just as intense now as he was in round one and fighting at a higher level of energy. Adamek doubling up the left hand, jab then left hook. Adamek increasingly wary of Briggs' right hand. Not throwing nearly as freely as he did early on. Briggs was a little contradictory when discussing Adamek's punching power last year. He said, I don't think he can hit hard, but I'll say this. He hit harder in the 12th round than he did in any other time all night.
Paul, he didn't capitalise on that round. He got the round off us, mate. Paul, you've got to keep the pressure on him, mate. You're following him round and throwing no punches.
That's the wrist round, mate. That's your wrist round.
Paul, mate, he is out on his feet. He is out on his feet. Mate, if you get in there close, smash his guts in and then come over the top like we do, mate. Paul, I'm not telling you a lie, mate. He's there for the taking. But you've got to work. He's not going to give it to you. Paul.
Okay. Stay relaxed, baby. Listen, you got to be smart, Thomas. That was a better round. Keep him in front of you, okay? Keep that head moving, and that head down in the double jab. When he gets close, work the body, okay? Go, Corners. That's it. Go, seconds.
I think halfway through this fight, we're looking at a rubber match.
Round 7 begins, and a pitched battle between these two light heavyweights. Harold Adamek, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 58, 55, 4 rounds to 2, Paul Briggs. Jim, I got to tell you something. He's getting off first. A lot of the times he's become the effective aggressor, and he's won 3 rounds in a row. I find the problem with Thomas Adamek is he's too straight up. He's getting nailed by right hands. 4-2, Briggs.
Interestingly, Johnny Lewis told Paul Briggs after the last round, well, you lost that round, you gave Adamek a round, that was your rest round, but that doesn't necessarily mean the judges saw it that way, as Harold points out.
Adamek is fighting back very good, but you know, the styles will always make these guys have great fights, as you were saying, Larry. They could fight 4 fights and it'll be great fights still. Both guys throw short, accurate punches on there. Neither one of them are loopers.
Adamek, it appears, is also bleeding from the mouth, spitting blood.
Neither fighter is going to wilt because of a little blood. Not the kind of guys they are.
Well, the first fight, Adamek came into the fight with a broken nose, and Briggs had a badly cut left eye, so they both know pain. And it didn't alter either one of them's performance.
Oh, they fought like devils for the whole distance, despite their physical difficulties.
Just as they are doing tonight.
Hard right hand by Briggs, 2 good body shots by Adamek. Intense fight.
Those punches look better than they were, but they might have fooled the judges.
Another reaching right hand by Briggs. Adamek scores a combination in return.
Adamek is outworking in this round, my judge.
He is indeed, but if the judges score the blood, they see it trickling down Adamek's face from both nostrils. And whether it's because he's not settled down on his punches, as was the case then, or because he's tireder, Adamek's punches have nowhere near the snap they had in rounds 2 and 3, when he was moving Briggs and hurting Briggs, particularly with left hands. A real power since that time has belonged to Briggs.
Yeah.
Hard right hand by Briggs after several shots by Adamek.
Yeah, this has been a good round for Adamek simply because he's outworked Briggs.
But Adamek has gone to the body in this round more than he has before.
And those combinations in the last 10 seconds would seem to have been enough to seal the deal for Thomasz Adamek, tightening up the fight.
I'm going to clean it up.
Hey, Ziggy, tell him to keep going to that body when he gets...
Watch your punches. That one was a little low, all right?
Okay. Tell him keep going to the body. Keep him in front of you like that, nice and smart. When he gets close, rip that body. Okay, here you go. Drink this, champ. Move. Okay.
Asking you. Paul, when you get him in front, you hit him, then you just drop it off. I want you to be non-stop this round. Hard underneath, Paul.
Yes, sir.
When you come underneath, mate.
Come on, baby.
This is a typical pattern of the fight with Adamek actually outlanding in terms of punches and Briggs coming back with the power punches. Only this past round seemed like Briggs didn't throw enough power punches back, so Adamek probably won that round.
Statistically, Adamek had one of his better rounds, throwing 87 punches, his high output of the fight, and a 15-11 edge in power connects. So, Thomasz Adamek perhaps won the last round, tightening up the scorecards in the fight. And incidentally, Harold Letterman scored the first round 10-8. I still think it's possible that one or more judges scored it 10-9. We shall see.
Should be very interesting because outside of that one left hook that Briggs landed, he didn't land anything else the rest of the round.
No, and Adamek
before or after
the round. So it'll be interesting to see. But that's just one point in a fight that seems as though it may stretch 12 rounds again, as did last year's battle.
I want to announce, because it is unusual, that I agree with Harold.
I know, you said so earlier, actually. You said that you believe that it should be a 10-8 round. I'm just saying I'm not sure that all three judges will see it that way. And that's one thing we should keep in mind. They trade against the ropes, and Briggs gets hurt. Adamek lands a big shot. Paul Briggs trying to cover up. The crowd comes to life. Another good combination for Adamek. Briggs is trying to bail himself out with the right hand again. Adamek blasts him into the ropes.
Adamek has actually outworked him the last two rounds. He's outfighting him in every way.
And his vibrancy starts to come back. Now, once again, Briggs sticks the right hand in there. And again, and again. So 3 straight right hands by Briggs. But Adamek lands a left and a right. Briggs jumping and firing, trying to reassert himself with aggression. Good fight.
Even though Briggs has lost this round for the most part, I believe, but it's still early enough for him to come back with some good, clean right hands and possibly put this round out also.
Not over yet. Still nearly a minute to go. Both men have landed some big shots in the round. Adamek had Briggs going for a moment. Good left hook inside to the body by Adamek. Thudding shot. Gets his left through the guard. Right hand up top. Good left hook by Adamek. Briggs comes back with a right hand. And again. Booming right hands by Paul Briggs. Usually bail him out when Adamek gets him in trouble.
But at this stage, Adamek is taking control. He's actually outworking him. It's who throws the most punches is who's winning these rounds for the most part.
Exactly the pattern of the first fight right now. Adamek outworking Briggs, landing combinations. Briggs occasionally halting him with right hands. Again, same stuff.
But Adamek is still out punching him.
Big round for Adamek as he seals the deal again in the closing seconds of the round and takes a right hand.
But he's still out punching him.
What a round.
Adamek came back from a first round knockdown. Briggs came back on him, and now Adamek has come back on Briggs. These are thoroughbreds.
Paul, mate, we've got to do that all the time now, mate. They won't give us this fight unless we fight for it. We can't stand there letting him drop us jab, jab, jab. Paul, we hurt him again near the end. Yep. Mate, back yourself, son. Back yourself. Make him miss and then jump on him. Mate, just be smart. Did he hurt you over there at all? He hurt you? He hurt you?
In front of you just like that. Okay, be smart. Give me the water. Okay? Keep him in front of you. Keep him in front of you. Don't get in the slugfest. Straighten the right hand out. You're going too wide. Okay?
Right here, you had Adamek land a right hand, very good right hand, because I don't think that Briggs even expected it. He just came in punching, but it was enough, I think, probably to get enough attention, which he may have won the round off of that.
Adamek threw 106 punches in that round, landing 32. Briggs landed 26 out of 71. And you can see that on Harold Letterman's card, Adamek has crawled back to within 1 point. Again, if the first round was scored 10-9 instead of 10-8, that would make it an even fight on those cards. If the judges agreed with Harold on the other rounds, and some of these rounds are very close.
Actually, who throws the most punches in each round now is going to win the round.
Low blow by Adamek. And now Briggs will get 5 minutes to recover from a massive shot below the belt.
I can't help but point out
It was an accidental low blow.
that sitting at ringside is the memorable foul pole.
Okay. You got from 1 to 5 to recoup, okay? It was an accidental. He didn't throw it deliberate, I feel, okay? Okay, you understand? From 1 to 5, catch your breath. Okay, I believe it was accidental, okay? I don't believe you meant to throw it. But you got to get him up, okay? Now, the next one, you'll lose a point if you don't do it, okay? Just wait right there. Okay. How you feel? Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
You good to go? Okay.
Larry, your point about the legendary foul pole.
Andrew Galata. And I was going to say that, certainly Adamek has been a very fair pole. And that was an accident.
For sure. An accident that landed flush. And now Briggs is ready to go, and here they are. Harold. Emmanuel, what about the psychology of that one? Wait a minute. Briggs in big trouble. Adamek landed a hard right hand. And here goes the Polish fighter, trying to close the show. Hard right hand by Briggs. Now he's in trouble again.
These are two tough guys, as Larry said. I mean, this is what makes great fights. Guys who refuse to lose. Once the momentum changes, they try to turn it around again.
They fought one of the top 5 fights of last year by acclamation. This is a candidate for Fight of the Year already.
Good shot right hand by Briggs.
Guts for days from both fighters.
Briggs was truly staggered earlier. His foot lifted off the canvas. Now he comes back to land 2 big right hands.
He's landing some great shots, but strange enough, Adamek has never showed that he's staggered or been hurt by the punches, even though they've been great shots.
That's why we always say the left hook is the best punch in boxing, because it's the punch you don't see.
And now Briggs apparently hit low again. And Adamek loses a point for the low blow.
Whoa.
I didn't even see it. I'll be honest with you.
It was a slightly low punch.
I'll be honest, I didn't see it as much. I just saw the reaction of Briggs more so than I saw the punch.
I agree. But I don't know that Briggs is the kind of unsportsmanlike guy who would put on an act like that.
Well, the one thing for sure, he could use the punch at this stage of a close fight.
Well, he got the point. He could use it, and he got it. And now Adamek seems to be focused more than ever on knocking Briggs out.
It'd be a good idea if he doesn't throw too many body punches from here on.
That's what they tried to tell Galata. Big right hand by Adamek. Briggs fires back to the left and the right. What a round. 2 rounds of mayhem between Briggs and Adamek.
It almost hurts my eyeballs to watch these guys fight.
Paul, forget about all that shit now. You've got to win the next 3 rounds. Yes. You've gone up the gym to spar 3 rounds. Mate, you've got plenty, he's got none. Yes. Mate, do you want to be world champion? Well, mate, get out there and do it. You see the jab the body in the right hand? Yes, come on. Mate, after that being the biggest right uppercut you've ever thrown in your life. But do it. Don't have me telling you. Yes. Do it.
Right here, you see the shot that came below. I think it was a shot that was intended for the body, but the way that his head was pulled down by Briggs, from Briggs missing a punch himself, forced it.
And this is Briggs surviving Adamek's assault a little later in the round, and then Briggs coming back with right hands, and that is the second low blow.
I would not consider it as a low blow. That was actually on the hip or the side. I think that was an excuse for Briggs to just take a break right there.
Count your box numbers through 9. Adamek landing 23 more, throwing 168 more. Briggs landing at the higher percentage. Harold, how do you have it going to the 10th?
Okay, Jim, 4 rounds apiece, 1 round even, because Thomas Adamek won the 9th round. Tim Adams takes away a point. It becomes 9-9. But in points, 85-84, Paul Briggs. I got to tell you something, Jim. I think Tim Adams blew the call. It was ridiculous. It wasn't a low blow. I'm talking about the second one. I just think in a close fight like this, the referee has to use discretion.
Usually you see 2 warnings before the first point is deducted.
Absolutely correct.
Harold, I have a question, Harold. If a punch is below the belt on the side as that was, are you saying that's not a punch below the belt?
Larry, the belly button is the defining line. If you think that punch was way below the belly button and it brought the cup up so that Paul Briggs got hurt, no way.
Okay.
Well, my problem was, I mean, maybe I saw it wrong. I saw it actually hit like on the side of the leg.
I agree with him.
And that was it. So rather it was never in the area where it could have been effective but did damage.
But again, and I don't want to belabor the point too much, but we pay attention to Harold's scorecard, we follow it, and his 1-point margin for Briggs comes from the fact that he scored the first round 10-8 because of a Briggs knockdown. And Adamek dominated the rest of the round, or at least controlled it.
But now when we come to the other situation here, where he only gave he called it a 10-9, he said.
He calls it 9-9 because Adamek won the round. Yes. So the question is, how liberal are you in awarding the 2-point margin for a knockdown? And I still think it's possible there are judges who scored the first round 10-9. Again, for Briggs, not for Adamek, because Adamek did go down. Hard right hand by Briggs, but Adamek is again landing more and with both hands.
And it's once again who lands the most punches and who throws the most punches. And now that the output of both guys have came up to the same level, the fight is dead even almost this round.
3 rounds to go, make it 2 rounds and 40 seconds. This has been a little bit of a rest round for both fighters after the mayhem of the 8th and 9th. And the round seems to still be on the table with 30 seconds to go.
I think Briggs is winning this round.
Yeah, I think so, Larry, because the short punches he's landing.
And he lands a big right hand over the top, which may help to make it even more definable.
Okay, let's go.
And he looks much stronger.
Monty Barrett is going to be outweighed in the ring by Nikolai Valuev by 106 pounds. Monty says, no problem. I'm going to jump inside those big arms. I'm going to get on his rib cage. I am going to attack his body. I'm going to take those jabs if I have to. And I am going to test his stamina and wear him out. That is the formula for Barrett and trainer James Bashir as they try to fell the giant tonight.
Stay on him, mate. Don't let him put the punches.
Paul, mate. Paul, 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Paul. Paul, don't throw it away, mate.
Yes,
don't, mate, if you feel he hit you 4 times, you've got to hit him 5. Don't let him get in front of us hitting us, mate.
Yes.
Put the pressure on him. Back him on the ropes. He can't fight going back. Keep him down.
Let's go, champ. Let's go.
CompuBox numbers in the 10th round gave Briggs a 28-21 advantage in landed punches, 20-13 edge in power connects. Briggs had his highest punch output of the fight, 75, but Adamek threw 82, landed 21, he was in the round. Johnny Lewis has been asking for a right uppercut from Paul Briggs round after round, and he finally threw it right there. And a right hand over the top is the one that lands. Briggs with a good left jab, shooting up out of the crouch. Another good left jab by Briggs, so Adamek says, I'll jab too.
If the output stays the same between the two when they're fighting in any round, Briggs will win that round because Briggs' punches are more straighter and more cleaner when he lands his punch, and he looks more sturdy. The only time he loses rounds is when he cuts down on his output and lets Thomas start out-hustling him, so to say.
This has been a big minute for Briggs, as Adamek really hasn't gotten going in the first minute of round 11. Could be that Briggs' stamina advantage is beginning to show up. He claimed he would be better conditioned.
You can't keep eating all of those punches up. Even though you have a good chin, sooner or later your features start busting up, or just the physical damage inside.
Adamek lifting Briggs' head up with a left uppercut. Wasn't all that big a shot.
Think the heavyweight fight will be this good?
No.
Maybe not. It'll be interesting, though. In fact, it'll be fascinating.
It'll be dramatic in a different way.
Thank you, Larry. Straight punches by Adamek, momentarily stopping Briggs in his tracks. First half of the round seemed perhaps to belong to Briggs. Now he lands a little left hook inside on Adamek. Adamek's face showing all over the damage from Briggs' big shots.
I'll give Adamek this. Despite all those right hands, he keeps throwing that left.
He's never cut off from throwing punches.
Body shot by Briggs. There have been precious few of those. Good left hook by Briggs, countering an Adamek right hand. Now Adamek counters Briggs twice and lands two big shots.
For the most part, Briggs blocked those last punches for the most part. But still, if Briggs don't throw something back, he'll still get the advantage. And that's the difference right there.
Left and right by Briggs. Adamek reaching with a little left. Briggs battering Adamek with a body shot, and again tries that right uppercut that Johnny Lewis wanted. Adamek with a combination of his own. Briggs says, "I'll make you bleed again."
Now there's a cut underneath the eye of Adamek.
1 round to go.
Don't you do anything silly, mate. Don't you do anything silly. You've got to keep him going back, mate. Keep him going back, Paul. Mate, 3 minutes.
Yes.
3 minutes to box. 3 minutes
Yes,
to box.
Johnny.
Mate, you want it.
Yes,
Mate, don't let him jab it.
Final round will touch gloves.
Thanks, Tim. The last round, champ. Take a deep breath, nice deep breath.
The final round will touch gloves.
You gotta work, baby, okay? Be smart, but you gotta score points. Keep that jab in his face, okay? Last round, okay? You gotta work, but you gotta move that head, baby, okay?
Numbers at 11. Adamek 20 out of 79. Briggs 23 out of 75. Briggs with a small edge in power shots. Harold Letterman gave the round to Adamek, and now Adamek leads by a point on Letterman's scorecard. This despite the fact that Paul Briggs has an extra point from the first round and got the low blow point in the night.
On my card, Adamek needs a knockdown to get into the fight as a draw or a victory.
Adamek bleeding profusely under the eye and from the nose. Briggs lands a left hand. Briggs' corner did a great job on the cut over his right eye. It's been basically stopped ever since it appeared in the second round. Adamek letting his hands go constantly despite the blood flowing from his eye and his nose. You won't see too much more courage in the ring, and these two guys have exhibited in 24 rounds against each other.
Adamek is really fighting a really courageous fight. Look at, he really wants to try to keep his championship. It is very hard to take the championship away from a man to fight in the way that he's fighting right now.
Standing his ground, letting his hands go.
He's busted up real bad. Bad
showing
cut over
no
the left
fear,
eye.
showing a commitment to his title belt.
Yes, he has an eye and nose and maybe a bad cut inside of the mouth. Plus both eyes swollen up.
And now he gets raked with a big right hand and is immobile against the ropes as Briggs goes at him. Minute and a half to go in the fight. Adamek bleeding above and below the left eye now. Good right hand by Briggs, right on Adamek's cut eye.
Both fighters coming toward the end of this fight like long-distance runners, expending every ounce of energy as the finish line comes into view.
But I think the facial features of this fight is one of the few that really shows who was hit with the cleanest blows. Even though Adamek landed a lot of blows, his blows for the most part was not as clean as well as Briggs landed his blows very clean.
Well, if Nicky Ward and Arturo Gatti are best friends now, are Adamek and Briggs headed toward being blood brothers? I mean, they have shared a 24-round communion that is special.
And the championship of the world is pretty much still up in the air going into the last round.
What a fight. Let's let it play out down the stretch.
What warriors.
Thomasz Adamek wouldn't be denied in the 12th round. He was going to win that round come hell or high water. It was mostly hell. But Briggs may have won the fight.
I had Briggs winning the fight by a point, but remember, Adamek is, in essence, the hometown fighter.
And how much did Thomasz Adamek want it in the 12th round? He threw 119 punches. His high output for the fight, 50 more punches than Briggs was able to get off in the round. Harold, how did you finish up?
Okay, Jim. 114, 112, Thomasz Adamek. I thought he did enough in the last 3 rounds to win him very, very close. Hell of a fight, could go either way. What can you say?
Great fight.
And if Adamek does not win the fight, surely it is because, or perhaps it is because, I should say, of the advantages that Briggs gains from round 1 and round 9. Round 1, Adamek had controlled most of the first minute and a half of the fight. Briggs put him on his seat with that shocking left hook. Round 9, a ruling of low blow right there, which occasioned about a 2.5-minute break for Briggs before he recovered enough to fight. And then later in the round, that momentary incident where Adamek's glove seemed to ruffle the right side of Briggs' trunks, that was ruled a low blow. And Tim Adams, rather than issuing 2 warnings, went ahead and took a point away from Thomasz Adamek on the second low blow.
Ruffled his tassels.
Let's take a look at the 3 judges who will choose the winner of the fight. And Mauro Di Fiore has never judged a title fight before. He judged last year's title eliminator, a snooze, between Hasim Rahman and Monty Barrett here. Ray Hawkins, 12 title fights. Notably, he was the man who had Winky Wright beating Jermaine Taylor in Memphis 115-113. And finally, Ken Morita, the most veteran of the 3 judges on the panel, scored Barrera Juarez 115-114 for Barrera, who was the winner of that fight by a point. Still waiting on the decision here as the Illinois State Athletic Commission totals up the scorecards to see who has won. And as you said, Larry, a rubber match between the two would in no way be inappropriate. I mean, if Barrera and Morales had to fight 3 times and Gatti and Ward had to fight 3 times, why not let this mayhem go on for another 12 rounds? Michael Buffer will tell us who's won the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 championship rounds, we go to the scorecards. Mauro Di Fiore scores at 113 even. Ken Morita scores at 114-112. Ray Hawkins, 115-111. To the winner, Hanye Ipanovia, still undefeated, still WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Thomasz Adamek.
Again. He did it again. He pulls off another dramatic victory before a Polish-American crowd in Chicago against a disappointed but valiant Paul Briggs. in a virtually identical fight to the first one, marked this time, though, by a knockdown for Briggs and a low blow point for Briggs. Adamek keeps punching, keeps taking punches, and carves out a title-defending win. Hard to imagine a more entertaining fight matchup in the sport. Here are the CompuBox numbers. Adamek landing 24 more, throwing 230 more punches, and that probably is what ultimately won him the fight, his ability amid all that damage, amid the sheer intensity of the battle, to keep letting his hands go. Briggs landed at the higher connect percentage. Power punch numbers. Adamek landing 4 more. How close was this fight? Throwing 154 more. Briggs landing at the higher percentage, and you could see that, but Thomasz Adamek, particularly in the 12th round, was not going to be denied his victory in this fight. A brilliant fight to start off the evening in Chicago.